As know in press conferences, I don't like a lot of hyperbole or, just a whole bunch of words. I like to tell stories. I would venture to guess there's people in the room that are familiar with the stories in the book of Genesis, where there was a time when the Israelites were wandering in the desert and all of a sudden bread came down from heaven. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what today feels like for us. Yeah, to answer your question, Mike, and to add to what Irvin just shared, I think what we saw in the playoffs and how we wanted to build this team, if you use a sports car analogy, since we're in LA, the capital of sports cars, but we wanted this team to have a lot of engine thrust. Yeah, I think, Eric, to answer your question, we have 7 or more guys that are 6'9", 6'10", or above. I haven't seen a team with this length since really the championship team where it was Gasol and Bynum and Odom. We still have an intrinsic advantage. When Irvin put on the 32 and when Kobe put on the 8 and the 24, that can't be replicated anywhere on the globe with any other team.
Let me in on the plan. What do you see time frame wise of when I can start to look at a playoff team in front of me?
It's kind of like if you go on YouTube and, you think about Taylor Swift when she was 16 years old, maybe putting her first song, it's her guitar, it's her, it's in a little studio, and you watch it and you listen to it and you say, wow, this is going to be a special thing to follow and a really cool narrative to unfold.
Working 18 years side by side with all of the people in this organization, maybe it's a little bit like when Harry met Sally. It's like you spend enough time together and things happen, We feel like Lonzo is a transcendent talent, and we knew the talent was transcendent. Like I said, the way he passes the ball, you look at quarterbacks like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers that just have a gift. There's clearly a gift with what he's been blessed with. So we knew on a basketball standpoint, there were no questions. Having Kobe and Vanessa here makes me speechless. You all know them for the Laker lore, but I know them as best friends. The 24 and the 8 and the Black Mamba, another story. My wife is on a trip to her college reunion. She's a pediatrician and went to Duke. Who holds my son as the doctor is literally stitching up his cut? Kobe and Vanessa. There's, I think, a verse in Scripture that talks about true friends being more precious than gold. That is so the case with you guys. Kobe, what Michelangelo is to art, what Beethoven is to music, what Shakespeare is to words, you are to me as a friend. Kobe used to always say, the off season is when I build myself and when I build my game.
Rob, Magic Johnson did an interview this morning in which he said that he felt like you betrayed him when you guys were working together. What was your reaction to him saying that, and do you believe that's a fair assessment of your relationship?
I think the most important thing for me is the 2 years of getting to work side by side with Irvin are some of the greatest memories I have in sports and work. He's an unbelievable person to work with. He fills the room with joy and vision. And truly it's saddening and disheartening to think he believes things that are a misperception. I think all of us in life probably have been through things where maybe there's third-party whispers or he said, she said things that aren't true. And then I have talked to him several times since he decided to step away. We've had many joy-filled conversations. In fact, 2 days ago, Irvin and I were talking about how the gene of being a competitive individual is something that gets multiplied, almost like compounded interest when you have competitive guys in the gym. So it's not 2 + 2 + 2 = 6. It's 2 × 2 × 2 = 8.
Magic said this morning that he had heard from a lot of people around the league that you weren't to be trusted. How concerned are you about that reputation being there? And if so, what can you do to potentially try to change it?
I remember just a really quick story. There was one time when Kobe, who I worked with for 18 years, was going back to play Madison Square Garden, and he had just seen The Dark Knight. Obviously, you guys saw that movie. And he's like, hey, hook me up with dinner with Heath Ledger because he got so locked into that role. I want to know how he mentally went there. And so we had dinner with Heath, and he talked about how he locks in for a role, and Kobe used some of that in his game
Great.
against the Knicks in terms
Yeah.
of mental preparation.